On our show, we typically focus on wine, not spirits, but today we're going to turn the tables because just when you thought it was safe to go wine tasting, we found a tour of some of wine country's spookiest places, which leads me to Carla Heine, owner of Twilight Tours. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
We'll take you on a tour of 13 sites of Sonoma's ghosts and legends in the Phantom Limo.
Ooh, I better get in.
Here we go. All set. It's a 1988 Lincoln Town Car, last year of the full metal body. It's just a classic. It is a classic, and I'm in love with it.
Carla's silver limo is hard to miss driving around downtown Sonoma. Because she grew up here, she knows the town's people, and Carla says she knows the town's secrets too.
In 1980, UCLA did a study of 40 so-called haunted towns. The average number of ghosts per block in those towns was 2 per block. But in Sonoma, we have 8 ghosts per block. In my opinion, Sonoma is the most haunted place in the wine country, of any town in the wine country. Here we are, Mary.
Where have you brought me, Carla?
This is the Sonoma Mission. Let's take a look.
Okay. Why put the Sonoma Mission on your haunted tour?
Well, because it is haunted. Underneath the building itself are the graves of all the Indians who died here after they converted to Christianity.
But Carla says the land behind the mission where the Indians performed a bear sacrifice ritual is particularly haunted.
So someone who feels paranormal activity, who gets a sense of things, would this be a special spot for them?
Yes, it absolutely would. Just walk here with your eyes shut. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel the weight of your legs. Can you feel that desire to be down on the ground?
That's interesting.
Feel the pull? Since they all did the ritual sitting down, no wonder. It really pulls. I felt it partly on my shoulders later and my solar plexus.
I don't even know where that is.
We go to view the plaques near the mission marking the Indian burial grounds. Carla says cars now drive over this sacred spot.
Usually there's noise of life living, but when you come through here and you drive over the bones of the dead, it's so quiet.
Our next stop requires a little drive.
Here we go.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Hey, this place is pretty.
Pretty spooky.
Let's go find out.
Yes, it's a cheese factory now, but let me tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
We're at the Vela Cheese Factory.
So what is haunted about this place?
We call this the building that screams because between World War I and World War II, it was divided up into little rooms, each one a different color, and the psychotics were borrowed from the state asylum and run through here to see what color would be the most soothing for soldiers who came back from World War II with shell shock. And they screamed and they screamed and they screamed, especially the people in the red room.
And what was the color they finally figured out that were?
Green. It's a light green. It's called Poindexter green, and you might know it as hospital green, institution green.
They figured that out right here.
This is where they discovered it.
That leads me to conducting an experiment of my own.
Carla, since you seem so much more in touch with the paranormal than most of us, we brought along an EMF reader, which measures electromagnetic frequency. And so you can see next to me, I'm getting a 0. So let's see what happens when we pass it to you.
Let's see. What do
my.
you see?
You are bouncing off the charts.
Does it bounce?
Ooh, you're all
Does it
over
bounce?
the
Let me
place.
see if I can see it from the
You're
top.
going crazy.
Oh, there's definitely something going on with me.
What do you
Here,
make
you
of
hold
that?
it again. Let's see what happens.
All right. Wah, wah, wah.
Uh-oh.
Back to 0.
We need to spend more time together.
There's nothing going on with me.
Our next stop, Carla shows me the haunted house she grew up in.
So it's a beautiful old place. It doesn't look haunted at all.
Well, this was my family home for 40 years, and out of 15 rooms, we had 8 ghosts. There was the ghost of a girl who brushed her hair in my bedroom. And that's my bedroom window.
This here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This is the room where the girl brushed her hair. She was the daughter of the landlord, and her ghost actually continues to sit there and brush her hair.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I knew something was wrong with the house, but it never occurred to me that there might be something wrong with me, that I was seeing them, until later when I began to wonder if I was nuts.
Are you?
No.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're back in the car,
And this is the Sebastiani Winery, and it's haunted too.
and there are more haunted sights to see in wine country.
For a haunted town, it sure is pretty.
It sure is pretty.
As we drive along the Sonoma Square, Carla points out more haunted sights.
This dark hotel, that's the Ledson Hotel, and it's haunted by the ghost of Marty's barbershop. And here's the Sebastiani Theater.
Oh yeah, right there.
And this theater, it's haunted by the ghost of the old stage manager, Barbara. And she fell to her death in 1950 and broke her neck, but she still comes back. And this used to be the skating rink. That was a big activity in town. And the people who work in these stores, they can hear the sounds of people skating around and around on the old wooden rink floor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Our last destination is the carriage walk leading up to the home of General Vallejo.
The best way to see a ghost is to go where the ghost has been seen at the time that the ghost has been seen. And the most commonly reported ghost here is the ghost of Chief Solano, seen at sunset, just over here to the left of the limousine, toward the western sun.
Out here by this field.
Out here by this field. And he's only seen by women and children. And he escorts them along, and they feel very safe in his presence. But half of the people who see him say that they see a 7-foot-tall bear, and the other half say that they see a 7-foot-tall Indian.
After 2 hours of ghost stories and some Sonoma town history, the haunted Twilight Tour comes to an end.
Here we are, Mary, end of the line.
Well, thank you for showing me the other side of Sonoma, Carla.
Well, thank you. And you keep your eyes and ears open, because you never know what you'll find in wine country. Thank you.
See you. When you think of harvest time in wine country, you probably think of the grape harvest. Well, olive groves are becoming more and more common because olives and grapes thrive in similar climates. In Homegrown, we're off to an olive harvest in Paso Robles wine country, where the fruits of the labor are pressed into award-winning liquid gold.
You have to take a picture of my olives.
Yearly Harvest is a family event here at Willow Creek Olive Ranch.
I've enlisted my entire family.
Ranch owner Karen Guth wouldn't have it any other way.
My son does our milling. Jolie, my daughter-in-law, does our marketing. And whenever we can, we enlist all of the grandchildren and any other willing relative to get out there and pick olives.
The family tends more than 8,000 trees, going against the grain here in wine country.
It was pretty clear that I didn't want to plant grapes since everybody around me had already done that. And olive trees seemed like a natural thing to try.
As the olive miller, Karen's son Josh goes into high gear during harvest.
We try to pick as much as we can in a day, but not more than we can really press in a day. So generally speaking, the fruit comes in and it generally gets pressed within an hour or so.
The family's olive press is an Italian import. During harvest, Josh runs it round the clock.
You know, when I pick the olive, this is as good as that oil is ever going to get. And so the challenge is not to screw it up getting out of the olive.
The machine does most of the work, washing, de-leafing, and mixing the olives.
We press our oil, although press is sort of a misnomer. We don't really press it, we spin it. It goes into a decanter or a horizontal centrifuge, and so we spin the oil, and that separates the oil from the water, from the paste, and that's how we extract the oil.
My name's Jolie. This is my family's ranch. It's really loud because we are making oil today.
Visitors to Willow Creek meet daughter-in-law Jolie in the tasting room,
This is our Paso Levo.
where she pours samples into small blue tasting cups.
Put it in your hand like this and cup it with your other hand. What we're doing is we're warming it like we would warm like a good brandy or something.
The blue glass masks the color of the oil and helps release its aroma.
Real fresh olive oil should smell like something and it should taste like something. And so that's what we're doing is we're warming it up so you can smell what a really fresh oil smells like.
The ranch produces several oils, but Paso Levo is the signature product, a dark green oil made from Tuscan olives.
It's really big. We've been told that out-Tuscans Tuscan oil. Good slurping.
You would want to pour Paso Levo on top of a soup. You might want to use it to dip vegetables or bread in. It's an oil that sort of demands to be recognized on its own.
All in all, life here at Willow Creek Olive Ranch is idyllic.
Where's your stick? This dog single-handedly sells more olive oil than any of us combined. And she just does it by charming them. But everybody loves a dog. How can you not love a dog? Especially one named Olive. My wife, myself, my mother, and even the kids, as you saw, we're all involved in the business and we all put our hands on the product. It makes it fairly special. And I think as long as it's enjoyable and stays that way, we'll keep doing it.
Keeping it all in the family, wine country style.
You know, over the years on In Wine Country, we've seen some pretty impressive wineries, but this one may be the ultimate. It started with one vintner's passion for castles and grew into a 121,000 square foot authentic medieval castle and working winery. Behind the label, how one man's dream became a must-see destination in Napa Valley.
People are really responding really well to this. You ought to see that they come up the driveway and they often stop right in the middle of the road at the crest where they see the castle. Their mouths drop open. When they see that everything's real, they realize it's not at all what they expected.
Castello di Amorosa is vintner Dario Satui's labor of love.
Castle of Love really is what it means. This is my fantasy. I designed it. I had some help, but I designed it. It was going to be 8,500 square feet. Well, that kept evolving, and the 8,500 square feet eventually morphed into 121,000 square feet. I was smitten. I mean, I have a disease. I know there's something wrong with me. I had to realize my passion.
Dario's passion turned into a 15-year project.
I tried to incorporate every element that a medieval castle would have had. Not only are we in a hillside, but we have a moat, we have a drawbridge, we have a guardhouse. We're at the top of the guardhouse here. We have 5 towers, we have courtyards, we have a church. Every one of these stones is hand chiseled. All the doors are all handmade, hand planed, all the nails, everything, the chain links and the lamp, all made over the open forge by artists that are blacksmiths in Italy. All the gates, everything was handmade the way it would have been and made this as authentic as it is. Mary, I want to show you one of the really extraordinary rooms at the castle. It's the Great Hall.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Tell me about the murals. They're beautiful.
This took 1.5 years to paint all the frescoes, all from the 13th through the 15th century.
Out of all 107 rooms here in the castle, Dario's favorite is the Great Hall.
It's a beautiful, beautiful room. I mean, it's almost too much to comprehend. There's just so much going on as far as artwork in that room. Now we're going to go down to another level.
One room down, 106 more to go. And no two are alike.
Mary, this is our torture chamber and prison. We have 3 prison cells.
From the stretching rack to the Iron Maiden to a nail-covered chair.
Oh, not going to stay long out.
It's all authentic.
Let me out of here!
There are a million twists and turns along these underground passageways.
The dead end.
And it feels like we've walked miles and miles. Dario's dog Lupo has been our constant companion. The biggest surprise might be that the castle is actually a real working winery.
This is the grand barrel cellar. This is our biggest room.
Wow.
This room's almost 12,000 square feet. It has 40 cross vaults with ribbing, and we can hold up to almost 2,000 barrels in here.
Dario says it took 2.5 years to build just this room.
The ceilings are a work of art. I mean, they're gorgeous.
One of the key things that most castles made was wine. And that is my excuse for building a castle to try to house some of the great wines we're making.
We're receiving Cabernet Sauvignon from one of our estate grapes in the south end of Napa Valley.
Brooks Painter is the director of winemaking.
Being in the heart of Napa Valley, first and foremost, it's got to express what we have here in Napa Valley. It's a wonderful place for growing Cabernet Sauvignon in particular, but not only Cabernet reds in general.
The castle may be grounded in medieval times, but the winemaking is thoroughly modern.
We're also dealing with all the grapes that we've been crushing over the last few days. We have what's called maceration activities, pump overs, punch downs. The idea that you want to extract the best flavor and tannin balance from the grapes.
The castle is also surrounded by vineyards producing estate-grown Sangiovese grapes. You can sample the wine right here in the castle's tasting room. Dario says he's a bit surprised that Castello di Amorosa is attracting visitors from all over to tour the castle and grounds and to take in the views of Napa Valley.
I didn't know that a lot of people really have passion for medieval things, especially for castles. You know, this is not a business for me. I didn't do this for money. I mean, I did it right in the bottom of my heart. I put so much time into this, but it was so much fun for me.
Looking for some ideas for your yard? Then we have just the spot for you. It may not all be exactly what you're looking for, but the idea is to inspire creativity in your own landscaping. In Gallery, take a stroll through the Cornerstone Festival of Gardens in Sonoma, where landscaping meets innovative design.
It's almost become kind of our icon.
The blue tree is extraordinary, extraordinary, extraordinary. You come and you see it and you're like, wow, that's so cool.
Drive along Highway 121 in Sonoma County and no doubt this blue tree will catch your eye.
We'll begin our tour over at this garden here.
Chris Hugi, creator of Cornerstone Festival of Gardens, where this iconic tree resides, hopes it will draw you in for a look around.
Daisy pinwheels may in fact be something that you occasionally see in gardens, but you never see 350 of them all in one place.
You'll soon discover a series of eye-popping garden rooms.
We've invited 16 landscape architects from all over the world, and we've basically given them free rein. They're just sort of idea gardens, and they're whimsical, and they play more with shape and with color and with different kind of elements that you might not expect in a garden.
Take Breakout.
This is so intricate.
A maze of 35 screen doors surrounded by hay bales.
I may never get out.
The idea is that screen doors are sort of part of rural America. The sound of these screen doors is lodged in our psyches, and that just the sound of them sort of bring back all this sort of memory, nostalgia for sort of some rural time.
Chris was inspired to create Cornerstone on a trip to France when he visited the garden of Chaumont-sur-Loire.
It was fun, and I just thought, you know, I've never seen anything like this in the United States.
Topher Delaney, a prominent international garden designer, created Garden Play.
Oh my God, great shot!
Where she hopes you'll come in and play a game of pétanque, which is similar to bocce ball.
At the end of the garden is plastic lumber, and that is a 12-foot high piece in barcode, and that spells garden play. The reference here is, do you know the codes that you're looking at? I wanted seating in here that did not look like obvious seating, and they could get up and roll it around and sit at a different place.
Changing perceptions is what it's all about for Chris. He can't help but point to the blue tree.
It plays with light and perception of light, and if you look up through it, people come up with all kinds of things that they think it is. And it definitely changes the color of the sky.
Whether you walk the journey of immigrant farmers,
as you go through the wall, you in fact enter a garden. And that garden is representative of California, which is basically tended by immigrant workers.
or take your shoes and socks off and walk over sculpted earth.
It's like a living art gallery.
Cornerstone delights the senses from head to toe.
Neighborhood wine shops are nothing new, but some offer wine selections that are a unique combination of value and interesting bottles. We discovered a gem of a wine shop across the bay from San Francisco, where it's hard to find a bottle over $25. Wine Country comes to the city with boutique wines and winemakers at Vintage Berkeley.
You might say the location couldn't be more fitting on a street called Vine. But the building sign, Vine Street Pumping Plant, could give you pause.
The building that we're in is a water pumping station from 1930, and it's this historic property, and it sort of has this antiquity to it.
This is the home of Vintage Berkeley.
Vintage, obviously the word translates to the year in which wine is made, so there's the sort of the double play on the antiquity of the building and our trade, what we do.
Owner Peter Eastlake founded this wine shop with a mission.
Vintage Berkeley is about great value wine from, little producers all around the world. We focus on wines that are under $25.
We know what to look for in wines, but we're not about to pay very high prices for a bottle of wine.
It kind of brings everybody down to the same level, and it's the comfort level of I could try anything in here, and it sounds interesting, and there's low liability if I don't like it or if I love it.
Peter stocks a changing selection of about 200 wines.
We have wines that only 90 cases were made, and so they're not the kind of wines that you're ever going to see in supermarkets.
Teaching his customers about wine is another mission.
I just brought the 2001 Syrah back in, which is delicious.
We think that rosés are really a wine that's up and coming.
Peter's customers can also learn during free winemaker tastings held daily Monday through Friday.
We have a winemaker here, Mac McDonald, who his winery is Vision Cellars, and he makes fantastic Pinot Noir.
You can have a great wine, but if folks don't know you, it doesn't do that well. 70% Sauvignon Blanc, 30% Pinot Gris.
It's just a great way for our customers to get familiar with our wines.
It's wonderful to be able to meet the winemaker.
All part of Wine Country in the city at Vintage Berkeley.
Earlier in the show, we toured an urban food hall stocked with everything you need to prepare a Wine Country-inspired meal. But what about the wine? We're finding more and more wineries in urban settings, with vintners who've traded in rolling hills and vineyards for warehouses and compact spaces. Now they're on the wave of a growing trend. Come along and discover Wine Country in the city on our tour of the Oakland, California wine scene.
When you think of Wine Country, you probably think of idyllic scenes in Napa Valley. But it turns out, wineries can be anywhere.
Yo, check this out.
Oakland, California is just east of San Francisco and home to a handful of urban wineries.
So why would someone want to set up shop here in Oakland, away from traditional wine country? After all, there are no vineyards here. We've got 4 urban wineries to visit today to find out how they do it. This stop's a 2-for-1, 2 wineries under one roof.
Dash Cellars and JC Cellars share this space. They've got a tasting room just like any other winery, but they're missing one key thing.
I was wondering, walking around the building here, where are the vineyards?
The vineyards are about an hour and a half away in Sonoma. All of our grapes are in Sonoma County, but we just put them on trucks and truck them right on down here.
I don't like any.
This stuff?
Yeah. Okay. No, we call it MOG, material other than grapes.
I like that, MOG.
Jeff Cohn is the winemaker at JC Cellars.
From a winery perspective, does it make more financial sense to be in Oakland as opposed to Napa Valley?
Couldn't afford to be in Napa Valley. It's just cost prohibitive to have a facility up there.
One advantage of not being in the traditional wine country, free wine tasting. This is Lost Canyon Winery. Let's check it out.
Behind the bar, 2 founders of Lost Canyon pour their Oakland-made wine.
Having Oakland on our label was an interesting question/dilemma. We didn't know how the public was going to respond. When we were in our first tasting event, we said on our cards at the table, a winery in Oakland? People were drawn to it.
Lost Canyon trucks in grapes, of course, but aside from that, they've got all the usual tools of the trade.
Once you get into the facility, you could be anywhere. The barrels are the same, the processing is the same, you're just doing it in an urban environment.
It may not look like it, but this is Tayerly Winery. They don't have a tasting room, they don't even have a sign, but they are open by appointment, and it just so happens I've got one.
Tayerly's got some unusual neighbors, including a giant compost heap that, well, dwarfs the tiny winery.
Well, this is not your typical winery. We did 2,000 cases here last year in 800 square feet.
You get cozy with your barrels.
Very cozy. It gets pretty crowded in here.
Lauren Tayerly's operation may be small, but he likes it that way.
It's very cost effective. I mean, it's a great business model. Very, very low overhead.
Now that we've toured urban wineries, we can say vineyards in the country may be nice, but winemaking in the city works just fine too.
Here's to the romantic wine country of West Oakland.
Thank you. Wineries are often a reflection of a vintner's personal experiences and interests. I'm here at Quixote in Napa Valley. It's one of the most unusual, whimsical, and visually interesting wineries to dot the wine country landscape. Behind the label, the winery celebrating architecture and literature and the passions of its vintner.
It's no straight lines. No 2 windows are alike. No 2 doors are alike, because that would be boring. You know, I watch, and 99 out of 100 times they're smiling. Welcome to Quixote.
These folks are some of the first to see Quixote Winery, which just recently opened its doors to visitors.
It's a matter of the color and the shapes and the difference in everything that puts people in the right frame of mind. There's no straight line.
That right frame of mind is evident in owner and vintner Carl Dumaney. When asked why he named the winery Quixote, the answer is simple.
Where else can you get a word with a Q and an X in it?
Indeed.
This is my desk.
But take a look inside Carl's office, as I did, and you'll see he's a fan of the legendary Cervantes book, Don Quixote.
I'd read Don Quixote a couple of times before this, and I found it's fabulous. It's a fabulous story. It's fun. It's outrageous. Yeah, there's the windmill. I'm a quixotic character, so that kind of helped cement the name of Quixote into the winery.
But a typical winery building just wouldn't do for Quixote. Carl was able to persuade renowned Austrian architect Friedrich Hunterwasser to take on the project.
The biggest signature is this gold leaf onion dome. German gold leaf, not Italian gold leaf, German gold leaf, because it has a different sheen to it. And we're talking one day, and I say, Friedrich, what does the gold leaf onion dome have to do with winemaking, the Napa Valley, with Carl Dominey, with anything out here? And he says, you will be energized. Your life will change when you work under the gold leaf onion dome. All right, Mary.
On a tour, Carl shows me more.
So you're taking me to the roof?
Yeah, this is a very important part of it because Friedrich, as I said, feels that you should leave the land looking as close to what it was before you came here. So that's why we have these trees, grass, bushes, everything up here. So that's why we have all this dirt on the roof. There's 12 to 30 inches of dirt on the roof.
Besides seeing the winery from a different point of view,
you get a good view of the gold onion.
Oh yeah, the onion dome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but the birds don't treat it right.
Carl says uneven surfaces are another Hunterwasser feature.
So Mary, this is the entry, and as you can see, it's irregular this way, it's irregular this way. You are feeling the ground underneath. You're aware of a change.
As you walk along here, you do. You can feel the little bumps and the curves and such, and it's kind of fun for your feet.
All the floors are uneven too.
You kind of roll through this place.
Quixote is anything but boring. For one thing, there's a rainbow of colorful tiled columns.
There's green and turquoise and blue and red and orange and more blue and yellow and gold down here. There's purple. Oh yeah, there's purple over here. Materials are all materials of the area. They're indigenous to the area. A lot of plaster, a lot of brick, a lot of flagstone, a lot of concrete. It's just a very colorful, organic, undulating building. And you have to experience it.
As it turns out, Quixote Winery is the only Hunterwasser building in the United States, making it a destination for lovers of both wine and architecture.
When it comes to wine country, there's all sorts of outdoor activities you can take part in, from biking to hot air ballooning. And now, an unusual sport is catching on in Napa Valley. Meet a winemaker who works hard and plays hard, taking a break on a disc golf course in Napa Valley.
My name is Josh Whitteman. I'm the assistant winemaker over at Chimney Rock Winery. Today we're racking barrels. Every few months we need to empty those barrels out, clean them out, and then fill them back up. I've been at Chimney Rock since 2002. I started there as a harvest temporary worker as an enologist, which is basically a wine chemist. In 2006 I became the assistant winemaker. You know, the life of a winemaker, a lot of people think you sit around and drink wine all day, but really we're farmers here too. We grow the fruit, and every 18 weeks we like to pull the wine out of the barrels because there's a lot of sediment at the bottom. We want to clean the tops of the barrels, make sure that anything that might be on the top of the barrel while it's in a very humid environment gets cleaned off, because we don't want any of that whatsoever touching that wine. This right here is our 2006 Élevage. I'm just checking to make sure that it still has that beautiful bright cherry fruit aroma to it, because if there is a single barrel that's off, we want to make sure that it doesn't go into the main blend in the tank. Today was a great day at work. All the wines went down the barrel beautifully. Now work's over. It's time to take a load off. Ready to go with golf? Why don't you head out with me to this golf course? So So this right here is the entrance to the golf course. We're about to go throw some discs. Today we're playing at Skyline Wilderness Park, which is in the south of Napa. We've got just a little bit over this ridge until we get to the first tee box. Disc golf to me is just a great way to get out with family and friends, take a beautiful hike through a beautiful park. Now we're gonna hand out some discs. Here on the bottom of this one, it actually has dimples along the edges, which are supposed to help it fly a little bit farther. This is what the actual golf hole looks like. These are nice and thick on the edges to really help grab onto those chains and drop into the basket. The rest of these are made pretty thin to slice through the air. The Skyline Disc Golf Course runs along fingers in the foothills of Napa. For myself personally, I play to get out of the winery, to unwind and relax. And really, I think you get a decent amount of exercise, huffing and puffing up and down these hills. And some of the views you get are amazing. Wherever you find great wines, you find amazing terrain. And that's what disc golf is really suited for.
Are you gonna go first and show us how it's done?
Well, I'll show you how I do it. Today I'm playing with my dad Keith, my sister Rachel Whitteman out from San Francisco.
I actually don't even know how to throw a frisbee. Let's go for it.
Her friend Ray.
Yeah. Okay.
And Susan Berglund, who works with me at the winery.
Yeah. All right.
On to shot number 2. Hopefully I can overtake my dad. I definitely don't want a man with a cane beating me today. Oh. I was hoping to get just over that ridge.
Oh no.
Oh. This is what you usually find yourself doing on a disc golf course at least once a day. And that's deep in the scrub brush. Hey.
Come back.
All right. Come back this way. Oh!
Oh no!
Ooh, you see that?
All right.
All right, everybody. It's time to go take a break.
Okay.
That's the good stuff right there. Sitting here, relaxing, having a glass of wine, looking out over the valley. What better way to end the day in wine country?
Hello and welcome. We're in wine country and I'm Mary Babbitt. This is Castello di Amorosa in Napa Valley. It is a massive 107-room medieval castle and it's unlike anything we've ever seen before in wine country. We'll give you a tour of the castle and winery a little later in our show. But first, you can do all sorts of things in wine country, from biking to hot air ballooning, even fishing. That's right, you can drop your line and reel one in. Behind the label, a fishing derby for the entire family at Martin Ranch Winery.
We have what I call a very unpretentious working winery. We're located at the southern tip of the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Dan Martin and his wife Therese own Martin Ranch Winery.
The pond is completely surrounded by grapevines.
It holds about 5 million gallons of water, and we have fish in that pond.
All those fish are the main attraction for today's event.
Come on down. We'll get you all set up.
Cheers.
It's the Martin Ranch Winery Fishing Derby.
A catfish.
Think you got enough rods, or what's the deal here?
I'm hoping. Well, two of them are the boys, one of them's mine.
Some prepare for serious fishing.
I think I'm going to bottom fish this. Dan says there's some big carp out there.
Ready?
And the casting begins. In no time at all, the first fish is caught.
He's a little guy, but he's cute.
It's weighed.
1 pound, 3 ounces.
And the official photograph is snapped. The fish are biting today and being reeled in one after another.
2 pounds even. 2 pounds, 5 ounces. All right, new leader on my board at 2 pounds, 8 ounces.
We're giving awards
1 pound, 2 ounces.
in 3 age brackets.
Good job, buddy.
Children 10 and under.
High five.
Yes! Children 10 and over.
Is that the biggest fish you've ever caught?
And then adults.
Bob's first fish is 113.
After the weigh-in, fish are released back into the pond.
2 pounds, 6 ounces on this guy. You just took the lead in your division.
Woohoo!
Oh!
The competition heats up.
Good job, Matthew. How many have you caught?
This is my 6th.
Matthew Lee right here has got the biggest fish so far. 2 pounds, 11 ounces.
About halfway through the derby,
Okay, guys, it's wine time.
Therese makes sure everyone's glass is full.
I think this might help catch one.
There's no fish going on.
Oh, come on.
Wine, that'll make it better.
Get us a bottle. Woo!
Just before the derby's end, a last-minute big catch.
3 pounds even. All right, Diego.
Woo-hoo! And the derby is over. So congratulations, this is 10 and under.
Over at the winery, Therese announces the winners.
These are our winners in the 10 and under and over 10.
I just tried my best and I got it. Really heavy. It's a bass. This was my first time fishing. It was really hard, it was really heavy, and the pole was just bending a lot.
All right.
In the adult division,
2 pounds, 10 ounces, each one of them.
that's good enough for a bottle of wine and a good ending to a day of fishing at Martin Ranch Winery.
Now that wine is edging out beer as the beverage of choice, we're starting to see some similarities between the two. For example, when it comes to packaging and closures, corks and bottles could someday be a thing of the past. Master sommelier Evan Goldstein casts an essential look ahead at how technology is changing the way we're opening wine.
Cork, of course, has been the traditional closure for decades and decades and centuries and centuries.
Evan Goldstein has popped more than a few corks as a master sommelier. He knows all too well these natural stoppers may harbor a bacteria that can spoil or cork a wine. Sure, there are synthetic corks.
And increasingly, more and more wineries are actually using them.
They're effective in preventing cork taint, but there are other options.
For me, the thing I'm most excited about in this day and age is this whole sort of return of the screw cap. It usually, for people historically, connotes cheap wine, jug wine, bad wine. And for years and years and years, the irony, of course, is that we traded people up.
Now screw caps are twisting off and saving wine from cork taint all over.
You don't need a tool to actually remove the wine from the bottle. You can seal the wines easily when they're done.
But how do you open a screw cap bottle with finesse?
Pick up the bottle of wine and place the neck of the bottle in your hand. The idea here is to close your hand and twist the bottle rather than twisting the screw cap. And in that way, you remove it simply like this, pull it off, and go ahead and pour.
Technology is also advancing wine packaging beyond the screw cap. Now there's single size and more convenient containers.
We're seeing wine in cans. We're seeing the whole concept of bag-in-box technology and being able to consume the wine at your leisure, out of your refrigerator or off your counter with no noticeable quality problems is actually a wonderful and fabulous thing.
All essential new ways to enjoy wine without the pomp and ceremony of a cork.
Do you have a taste for adventure? If so, we've got a treat for you. Wine on the River is a specialty trip combining fine wine tasting with raging whitewater. We're taking an adventure in wine country down a Class 4 river with a boatload of wine in tow.
This stretch of the Tuolumne River in the Sierra Nevada foothills may be wild and remote, but a group of strangers has come together here for the utmost of civilized endeavors, wine tasting on the banks of the river.
This trip here on the Tuolumne is our Tuolumne Wine on the River trip. It's the first of 4 wine trips that we do around North America.
Steve Markle is with Oars, the outdoor adventure river specialists. They're the guides for this trip.
Layers of clothing are good. The fit is great, but I care more about the water.
Of course, a wine on the river trip requires, well, wine. That's where Scott Clan from Twisted Oak Winery comes in.
I brought a bunch of barrel samples. We're going to have a little fun tonight. We're going to do what is called a blending seminar. So I had to bring some barrel samples in order to do that.
But first,
we are all ready to get wet. We're going to go through some great rapids.
They've got to get down the river. These are Class 4 rapids. That's 4 out of a possible 6 in difficulty. Now, most adults can run Class 4 rapids with a guide, but still, this is no walk in the park. It doesn't take long for the mighty Tuolumne to flip a boat, sending a handful of rafters, including Scott the winemaker, into the drink.
The boat turned over. It went up and it flipped. Is the wine still attached to the boat? The wine was not in our boat. The barrel samples I knew were okay too because they were in the boat that saved us. Barrel samples, finished wine. You know, the food might be important, but of course it's secondary.
During the course of this 2-day adventure, the rafters navigate 15 rapids along a pristine river canyon.
It's 18 miles of virtually non-stop whitewater and completely removed from civilization. There is no other river in California that really takes you out of civilization the way the Tuolumne does.
This may be the wilderness, but camping with oars is hardly primitive. Tablecloths and hors d'oeuvres are de rigueur in this neck of the woods.
There it is.
The main event is, of course, the wine, which emerges from a dry box, safe and sound.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pair up into two different teams and we're going to have a little blending fun.
Scott's blending seminar is a game, a timed competition pitting 2 teams against each other. They've got 3 barrel samples and the tools of the winemaking trade. The object, mix up the better blend.
I think no matter what you mix together, it's still going to taste really good.
One team's blend is dubbed Miwok, a nod to the natives of the Tuolumne River. The other, Cornucopia of Chaos, a wisecrack perhaps about the day's whitewater adventure.
I'm going to go judge these. You guys are going to have some more of your leftover barrel samples.
If this trip proves anything, it's that you can live high on the hog, even in the wilderness.
These were both very good wines, all right? But the best blend of the night was the Miwok.
An adventure with wine on the river, escaping civilization and bringing gourmet living into the great outdoors.
Artists often get inspiration from their surroundings. For Sonoma Valley potter Lynn Mann, the source of creativity he draws upon is the land and vineyards surrounding his wine country studio. Come along as we visit Lynn's outdoor gallery and see the potter himself in action.
My studio is set in the middle of 30 acres of vineyards. I'm on the border of Napa and Sonoma County, so my studio is in Napa County, my mailbox is in Sonoma County.
Lynn Manns, the artist in residence at Latour Vineyards. While his location among the vines may seem picture perfect, the art he's making here is, by his own account, anything but.
There's a tendency with ceramic artists that they want to make perfect vessels. They want everything, they want things to match up. They want to be recognized for the same things. Where I really like to undo things. I like to make them so you can't, I mean, you'll recognize that it's mine because it looks so crazy and it's so chaotic. I add chaos to the perfect pot.
A quick peek around Lynn's studio confirms it. This guy's art is freeform, not unlike nature around it, and occasionally downright dinged up.
I'll make a perfect vase and then I unmake it by messing it up.
So tell me about this piece.
Well, Mary, I made this piece for my dad's 60th birthday, and it's a fountain sculpture. There'll be a tube of water that will shoot down into this bowl here, and it will drain out the floor. It's a self-portrait. Can you see the likeness?
Yeah.
This is the likeness right here.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And yours?
I don't want to clean mine. I might lose my mojo or something.
Lynn's art may be chaotic and messy, but his pottery skills are professional and polished, which is more than I can say for my own.
Now you could come back out and kind of open it up. Do that.
Just pull?
Yeah, just kind of pull it open.
This feels so great.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. Got a little problem here, Houston.
What happened, Mary?
My finger, I got my finger in the way. I was trying to copy you and my fingers just are useless.
My pot may be a lost cause, but Lynn's almost finished a flawless piece.
There you go.
Which means, of course, it's time for his signature touch.
What are you doing, Lynn?
I'm messing it up a little. I'm undoing it, Mary.
Why?
Because this is what makes it fun.
Little character.
Yeah. It's not from Costco.
Watching Lynn at work, it's clear his vineyard home's a perfect fit for his imperfect art.
All these things come to me when I'm out here. I don't have to think of what to draw, it just flows to me. Just being here, you can feel the vibe of the land. It's awesome. Done.